Hey.
Hey, I was in a mood. You just put me in a whole different vibe with that. The intro was
a little groove and you be like,
right, and then the music. I said, "Oh, I guess the vibe is over. The music stopped." Hell, where'd you get that song from? I'm gonna have to go find it.
In my video editor software, you know how they have stuff for you to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So I use, what is it, Master, whatever it's called. I use them, and they have a whole library of songs based on
the mood you're trying to create.
Yeah, different genres, and all of that stuff.
I'm gonna need that. I had to clean off my old lady glasses so I can see.
Anyway, we are here, people. We are here.
We're here.
I'm sorry. I got like 14 things going on, and then it started raining, which gave me a good feeling because I love the rain. Anyway,
it's just hot here.
Discuss David makes man.
Amen.
Praise God. And we are here. Our other counter.
Yeah, she'll be here in a minute.
She'll be here at any moment.
To add her dissenting opinion to whatever we got to say.
Oh my God.
I had somebody write a whole paragraph had they made about this time. They are upset about this time jump share.
Listen, they are not here for it at all. However, I am at a comfortable place with it now. Hey, LaJermina. I hope I didn't pronounce that wrong. I'm going to say it's LaJermina. Maybe. Hey, keep it cute. Hey, it's D. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to say that
you're in a good place with it now.
Oh yeah, I'm in a good place with it now. I mean,
what you gonna do? They ain't gonna change it because you made it.
Right. I mean, me being upset about it after so long, it's just me just yelling, and it's not gonna change. It is what it is, and so that's why from the jump, I thought of it like American Horror Stories, where with American Horror Stories, you just have to like it or not, you have to just deal with it. We're in a whole nother time. We're in a whole different situation. And so you learn to just appreciate what it is. You say, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm gonna take this in where it is. And because even in American Horror Stories, even when they're in a different time or a different situation, they have little instances that'll point to a previous season and things like that.
And it's always the same actors, which then always ties it one to each other.
So so yeah, I'm that's why I'm at the point where I'm at now, where I'm okay, and I just have to get past it. Hey there.
Hi.
Come on, we matching red lips.
Yes. Oh, I was so excited when I saw the red lips earlier. I said yes.
Oh, she said I said the name right. That's the teacher in me. You know, as a teacher, you get used to reading names that most people be like, what? And you be like, let me help you out with this.
Listen, I'm a teacher and I will still mess your name up. I'll be like, baby,
Oh,
say your name.
That we know. We know.
I'll be like, say your name. I'll be like, say your name for me. Okay. I'm the teacher that writes the phonetic spelling. I mean, the phonetic down in my grade book. Well, back when we had grade books, I would write the phonetic next to your name, so I would know I say it right for the rest of the school year. I don't have a grade book no more, so that's a whole nother conversation. But
and I said we all got our glasses on, looking studious.
Astute.
We all wearing red today.
Hey everybody!
And that was not cool for today.
I was at a meeting, and the meeting got out late, and because of my current computer situation, I was on my other computer, and I had to log out of that computer and get on this computer, and this computer is slow as molasses. So sorry, y'all. But I just here now.
She here now, y'all.
Anyway, we ain't really started talking. Hey, Xavier. David, you know what? David, not David, Jesus. Xavier, you already started. Xavier, can you get in 5 minutes? Xavier? 5 minutes. Xavier. Hey, Jamila. Hey, Quintessential. Hey, Xavier.
Did you hate this week's episode, Loretta?
Yep.
Again? Oh,
yep. I just think they've lost. I think they've lost me. I think they have. I think they've lost me. And honestly, I've gotten a lot of comments in my comment section. A lot of people would feel the same way. I had one person leave a comment. They were like, I don't know how. They would say it takes something along. I'm paraphrasing, but they were like something along the lines of, it takes a special talent to F up a show this bad after the first season. I was like, damn, okay.
I don't see. That's why I think they're going to extremes. I think that's why I think people are going to extremes. It's one part of me says I understand. The other part of me, the writer in me, says you need to get over it or not. It is what it is.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, right? They can either get over it or they not. So what I'm saying is, they've lost me. Like the only reason
No, I'm not saying
is because I review it.
When people start to make comments like, "Oh, this is the worst thing ever," and everything, I think because what's ended up happening is some people are so vested in being upset about the time jump that they miss a lot of the stuff that's going on that still makes the show a great show.
Well, I can't speak for those other people, but I can speak for myself. I don't feel like I'm so caught up on the time jump as much as it's just not. It's not flowing for me. I mean, we've had other shows, like, for example, perfect example, and I know this is going to be a totally different genre. One Tree Hill did the same thing. Now, I know y'all probably didn't watch One Tree Hill, but One Tree Hill did the same thing. They had this long pause after the kids graduated from high school. What is that noise?
My background is busy.
Oh, okay. They had this long pause after the kids graduated from high school, and they picked back up like 5 years later. And they just did flashbacks throughout the season to show you what happened to fill in those gaps. And I think that was done expertly. But it can be done, and it can be done well. I just don't think they're doing it well. That's just my opinion, though. But let's get into the episode. You asked me a question. I really wasn't going to start there, but okay.
I mean, I don't think. So I'll say like this. For me, I'll say like this. As the season goes on, I see more of the line, and it makes me less like, okay. And so now that's why I'm at the point now where the time jump is the time jump. Either you like it, I'm kind of seeing where they're going and how it is going to start to answer questions, and things like that. I do think, and I will maintain this, and I will say this from the beginning to end. I think that people want more of a Kelly, and because that actor did such a phenomenal job of creating who and what we know to be David, and by people wanting more of a Kelly, that means that when you're getting Kwame, you're like, but no, I want a Kelly. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you got the new Aunt Viv, you was like, yeah, I don't want this new Aunt Viv. I don't like her. I don't see it for her. I want the old Aunt Viv. But the difference is we didn't throw the whole show away when the new Aunt Viv came. All right. So where are my notes? I had notes. Why am I so hot? Like I feel like I'm going through hot flashes. Oh, I know the men are pause.
You having hot flashes? Well, you are old enough to be going through menopause. So.
You know what? I'm not doing this with you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Meanwhile, I'm over here looking at my blanket from across the room, trying to figure out how I can use the power of my mind to bring it over here because I'm freezing.
Okay, so technically, we haven't discussed David Makes Man really fully since episode 2. I think we did episode 1 and 2, right? And we haven't done 3. We'll go through 3 real fast. We know with 3, JG got out of the hospital, and there was that whole dynamic. And we got, hey Julia, and we got a lot more of the girlfriend. That's what we'll call her, concubine. The Trish, because I'm not accepting this common law marriage mess, which is not even acknowledged in the great.
Oh, you mean JG's girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
JG's girlfriend. Did I say David's girlfriend? I meant JG.
That's what I thought you were referring to, that you didn't accept David's situation with that one girl, but we ain't seen her since the beginning of the season. That one girl who came over to his house to help him sleep.
Yeah, this Trish chick is the concubine, and until y'all show me records, I don't believe that's Trent's mother. I'm just saying. JG gets out of jail, and not Jesus.
Out of jail? What show are you watching, Jesus?
I think when we first saw a lot of JG and David's dynamic was that porch. That porch scene after he got out of jail, and then they went to the
after he got out of the hospital.
Yes,
you don't put this man in jail.
Dear God. After he got out of the hospital, and he went and had the situation with the mom having this homecoming or whatnot, and he had a chance to settle down. Him and David got on the porch, and they began to talk, and the conversation went left because he asked David what happened while he was, in the coma, and how was Trish and mom and everything, and David was like, I don't know, I really wasn't there. And you saw JG's face But then he tried to play it off by saying, oh, okay, try to play it off. What, in your estimation, what is the relationship with David and JG now? Because that's not where David and JG's relationship usually is. I'll ask Really B, who is feverishly checking her phone. I'm asking you first. That's my question.
Where's their relationship now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want me to start with the episode we just watched Tuesday, or you want me to talk about from that point?
From that point. Because we didn't get a lot of JG this past episode.
Yeah, but we got a lot of insight on how he feels about David, though.
Okay, I'll accept that.
I mean, we didn't get a lot of JG, but that scene with when Shella calls the snitch on David and JG is there and overhears it. He's like, and even when his conversation with Miss Elijah, when Miss Elijah was like, David gonna save us, and he was like, he not the David that we knew. He's not the David you remember. He's changed. He's different. And so I feel like there's an insight that JG knows that something is different and something is off with his brother, even though he's still the same. He's still clowning with him and joking with him or whatever, but he knows it's not the same. And I think he keeps trying to get something. I think he picks at him the way he does because he's trying to get something, a reaction, something out of him. And it's just nothing there. It's just blank. But then he's still a big brother. I mean, he's still protective, because when Shella tried to come at David, he flipped and was like, it's kind of like, I can say it, but you can't, kind of thing.
When did she try to come for David? Oh, yeah.
When at the end of the episode, yeah. And then JG sort of snapped at her.
Yeah, he did. And that was a whole, there was a lot in that snap. We'll get to that snap in a minute. It
was more to it, but I'm just saying he snapped at her about the David thing. I mean, yeah, it was the situation with him getting shot too, but go ahead.
I will say this, that well, let me let Ebbie answer that question as well.
Bear with me because there's a lot happening here. I think the relationship with JG and David, we already know that David killed off his younger self at the bottom of that pool. And so that's where the splinter happened with him and everybody, any of his like emotional connections. There's still some tangible connections with him and his mama and JG, but it's nowhere near where it was before that incident at the pool. So right now their relationship is of two siblings who were close at one point, and then they paths diverged, and even though that's my brother and I still love you, us as adults, we are nowhere near as close as we were as children. And that happens normally, even without all of the trauma. Because I know they trauma bonded because they were in the same situation when Miss Glow was on drugs and everything, and it was just the two of them against the world until their mama got themselves together. But
I think that here's where I'm going with this. In my mind, I know that their relationship is different, but I think his relationship with everybody is different. And I think one of the worst, I shouldn't say worst because I let the people write what they want to write and edit how they want to edit. But I think I don't think it did us any favors when they kept, before the season started, showing that one scene of Glow saying, everybody else has changed, but you have not. Which is so untrue, as we can see about David, because he is not the old David. We see moments where he tries to tap into the old David, but he is not the old David at all. He's not gregarious anymore. He's not as even as likable anymore because he's cut himself off for survival reasons, and so forth. So I really feel like um I think that those two can get back, but I think it's going to take a lot in order to get them back to where they were. So we got David and JG. Their relationship is kind of severed. David and Glow still kind of have their relationship, but you can see where Glow is starting to see chinks in the armor. Like when Shella called Glow and said, "Hey, he's out here busting down," you know, Ow! Marissa on our dryer. You need to know now. JG wasn't there at that time. Remember, JG came with there later. I thought when David came over. Or am I wrong? I thought JG was there when David, because when Shella first called, Glow, I think, was asleep or something like that. And then, because she seemed like she was just getting, she was like, huh? What? And then later we saw David was over there. And that's when we saw JG come from around the corner when David confronted his mom about Mixolydian. Now, that's a question that I have. What has happened between the mom and Mixolydian? Something has happened there. There's a reason that the mom is making it a point to stay away from Mixolydian.
See, but that's not what she said.
I didn't say no. I didn't say she said that.
No, but no. She said that she said that she sees Miss Elijah. She just doesn't go to the Ville. Miss Elijah comes to her because she said that. She said Elijah said. He said, "When's the last time you checked on Elijah?" And she was like, "He's here all the time. He was just here last week."
Oh, see, I think I missed that. Okay, so
he said, "When's the last time?" He said, "No, I don't mean here. When's the last time you went to the Ville? His apartment looks totally different." So, no, she sees Elijah. She just doesn't go down there.
Okay, I got you. But Miss Elijah, she just doesn't go to the Ville. And do you think she's for all of this? Oh, the Ville wasn't, because she went on in this whole tirade with David about how the Ville is in this horrible place and there were good times at the Ville. Then why is she doing everything in her power to stay away from the Ville?
I don't see. I think you're going to the extreme. I don't think she is. Just because you moved away from somewhere don't mean you got to go back and visit. Like, I just think that she's living her life. She's taking care of her children at the house. She's being Glow. I don't think she's going out of her way not to go down there, because remember, it seems like JG is the only one that does go down regularly.
Mm-hmm. I kind of
remember how upset JG was when they moved out of the Ville. JG is still connected to the Ville in a way that Glow and David are not.
I kind of feel different about it, because if you're my friend, we live in the same city. I'm not going to always be doing everything in my power to stay with I might come over your house. You might come over my house every now and again. It just seems like she's going out of her way, like you said, to stay away from the Ville. Now that might have to do with past demons that she don't want to, wake up or conjure up. But I feel like she's going out of her way to stay away from the Ville. And the only person going to the Ville is JG. Ebbie, you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't get that she's going out of her way to stay. I didn't get like she's making a concerted effort not to go back. I know life gets very, very busy, and especially when you move out of an area, unless you have a specific reason to be there, it just don't be on your mind to go back there. And we don't know that Miss Elijah hasn't been making a concerted effort to come out to see Glow, for Glow not to have to come back to the Ville either. Maybe Elijah her place is falling in disrepair, and with the onset of early dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever it is that's plaguing Miss Elijah, maybe she's made a concerted effort to say, I don't want you, I know you're doing so well, I don't want you to see how not well I'm doing, so therefore I will make the trip to you versus you coming to make the trip back here.
Now I got you. I still kind of feel like there is this intentional separation of the two. Like we've yet to see the two of them in a scene together. We've yet to see the two of them interacting. I say that there was one of two things happening. Either COVID happened and they filmed certain things at a certain time, where you're always seeing certain characters in certain. You know how you saw that with other shows where because of COVID and how they did all of the quarantining, you only gonna see these people in this area, and you only gonna see these people in this area, and therefore we will write around that. I don't know if that was the case, but
Now,
it
I
just
do
seems
find it interesting that Miss Elijah didn't go to the hospital.
right, right, especially if JG done been doing right by Miss Elijah the whole time. And Miss Elijah knows that he's in the hospital. That just baffles the mind that he's in the hospital and just Miss Elijah ain't go by there. But that's a whole nother situation.
But
Um,
that also could be because, again, of the dementia or the early Alzheimer's. Miss Elijah seems like she's barely coming out of the apartment. Like Shayla is planting the flowers under her direction from outside. She came downstairs, she fell on the stairs. So
And remember, Shayla told her not to come downstairs.
right. So it seems
but I
like Miss
feel
Elijah
like
is very sick and shut in. That's what
I
it's come
feel like,
across.
but I feel like even with the Alzheimer's and dementia, there are moments of cognizance. And I feel like at the moment that Shella says JG got shot here in the hospital, Mix Elijah would have been like, girl, take me down here to go see him. That's kind of what I get from him. I feel like, nah, he would have been like, no, you need to take me to go see him. I need to see Jonathan Gregg. And I just don't, like I said, it may just be that situation where, excuse me, they're just not showing it because of COVID or for the things that y'all said and so forth. Finally, I got my other computer act right. I done logged into my other computer. I'm sorry. So we got Mix Elijah and her dementia. I think we pretty much surmised that it's dementia's Alzheimer. It's not her, on drugs. It doesn't appear or anything like that. It does
Yeah.
that. We did get, I think that was episode 3. No, it was this episode. David reveals his plan. It came right out. Yep, I'm trying to get into the political sphere. And I think it's more than he's leading up onto. And I know you said that at one point, really be, but he definitely made it known to Mix Elijah. I'm trying to get my foot in the game, and make a difference. Do you? That's a bad question. I was about to ask. I was about to ask, do you think he'll be successful in that? Do you believe that that's his whole plan? And I know your answer really be. I'm gonna ask Ebbie first before I come to you. Do you think that's really his whole plan?
I do not. And honestly, I'm trying to, because I don't know why it doesn't come across to me as if David have all these political ambitions. But if I go back to season 1 and him being enamored with that man who came to the school, he was an alderman or something. He was some big political man that came to the school, and David tried to curry his favor. Is that who he's trying to model himself to? That's his end goal? I don't think political machinations just doesn't seem like, I don't know, what would be at the core of him or what he's reaching out for. I could be very wrong.
Really be?
So this is the part where y'all are gonna probably be mad at me. I am not vested enough to care.
You sound like Ebbie now.
I mean, but they have not made me want, like last season, I was vested in him getting into Hurston. I wanted him. I cared about it. I was there with him for every scheme. I wanted him to work that shit out in the Ville and not get nobody killed. You know what I'm saying? But do I feel like they've given me any reason to think that David has political aspirations? No. And my thing is, what is your definition of help? Like, David, at this point, when you say it'll put me in a good position to do some good, like, what is your definition? Because who you gonna do good for? The people that you about to, like, literally uproot them out their homes? Like, I don't know. But I know I don't really care at this point. They've done nothing in these first 4 episodes have made me care. And I'm not even trying to be difficult. These last 2 episodes, I legit struggled to get to the end of the episode. Legit.
Well, we thank you for your commentary.
Well, you asked.
When what?
I said you asked.
Yeah, well, we are running a show here. I will say this. I think we see with David what we saw it last season, where David likes power. David likes to be in charge. If you remember, when Glow came home, finally started to do better and come home and started to make decisions around the house and run the house again, David didn't really care for that. When with the whole raining and the whole situation of running the drug game in at the Ville, his end game was to take over because he likes to be in charge. He likes to have power. He likes to have that autonomy. And I could see where David wants to use Padilla as a mechanism to spring himself for. I could see him double crossing Padilla and trying to make a run for county mayor. Period. Now, to add a little insight to what you were just talking about, being in Miami-Dade County, yes, there are places that you do need to shut it down. There are some places that are so decrepit, so dilapidated, and I don't care how much the people fight and say, "Oh, you putting us out of our homes." Well, at this point, you need no longer live in squalor,
Well,
and you need.
that wasn't the point, but that's not what I was saying. But go ahead.
But I think, that brings me to the point of Shella fighting so hard for this place where if there's now I know how this stuff goes. They'll move you out, build a new place, and they'll move the other people in there. But even with them doing that, when they have displaced those individuals, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll have them move into single family homes with other, and we've seen that many times over, and they'll create other neighborhoods of their own where it's not just the apartment style project where it's just a neighborhood. Now I've seen them do that, but it gets to a certain point where something does have to be done, and you do have to get the people out of that place because it's not a good place for them to be at. If you were Shella, would you fight as hard as she is for the bill not to be renovated? Really be first.
I mean, if I'm Shella, yeah.
Ebbie?
That's all she's known. That's all she's ever known. I mean, she's hustling. She got 500 hustles going on. I feel like she could afford to live somewhere else. She chooses not to. Just there's a level of fear in all of them that stops them from leaving the Ville. Like, same with Miss Elijah, same with, I mean, if I'm Shella and I have that mentality that this is my home, yeah, I'm fighting for it.
Ebbie?
Yeah, I agree with Loretta. She's the modern day Miss Hertrude, only nicer. Like she has a sense of community, a sense of family there. And those are her roots. So yes, you fight to preserve that sense of community, that sense of family that you have created there in the Ville. Whereas if you move them out of the Ville to somewhere else, you may not be able to foster that in the new situation. So as rundown as it is, home is where the heart is. So that's where their heart is right now. So yeah, I would fight to keep it or fight that if they're gonna redevelop it or fix it up, that it don't be like gentrified to where we can't come back to, you know,
So we still
back
have a
to
seat
it.
at the table.
I think that's where the fight has to be. I think the fight has to be in that they're like, well, listen, if y'all gonna redevelop it, then y'all need to have guarantees in there that everybody that's living in the Ville now will be the first tenants in the new complex or whatever you have. Now, of course, they'll probably make it bigger or whatever and be able to move more other people in, but those people need to have first dibs. So, Xavier, it's more than what you probably are seeing and witnessing. Even when you watch season 1, you got whole empty apartments that is being housed and lived in by crackheads and stuff like that, and all kinds of stuff. Well, Bobo, I've always felt differently about the show because it's about that goes back to season 1. I've always had a different liking from the beginning. So I won't deny that. I would never say that. Hell, you see how anything referencing the DMV area really gets real passionate about, and I sometimes question how people can be passionate about DMV, but that's a whole other story.
Excuse me?
No, nothing.
She really look like she ready to fight. She gonna whip them braids into a ponytail.
I mean, but so I'll never deny that. So, a couple things before we get out of here. One, I do want to talk about the relationship with Miss Elijah and David. What about that relationship? Because I think, well, I'll go first. I feel like David finally he had a moment where he got and he realized what he meant to Miss Elijah. Even though JG was always the one that was comfortable around Miss Elijah. JG was the one who was always ready, and David kind of always was kind of like about going over to Miss Elijah's house. But Miss Elijah loved David, and I think, and for all, and I said in my review, for all of the times David says what everybody saw for JG and everybody loves JG, I think he started to see and get that it really was the opposite way around. He just didn't know it or didn't realize it, I should say, that they really saw it for David more, and they were rooting for David, for lack of a better term. They had expectations of David, for David to know, for them to know now that David may be the architect by which they are moved out of that. That's a problem. Do you, when they had that conversation, Miss Elijah talked about, I know you better than everybody else. Everybody don't know you like I know you. Why do you think that the writers made it a point to bring us back to Miss Elijah in this case? Because Miss Elijah was the reason why his whole plan the first time came. Do you think he's altering his plans, or talk about that relationship, Eddie?
I don't think that he's altering his plans. I feel like they had that conversation because they had some camaraderie because of the last time that he had a plan with a bunch of moving parts. She was integral to that plan. And I don't think he understands how bad it is with her mind deteriorating. I don't think he has a clue, which is why he spilled all of his beans to her. And I feel like that's going to come back to bite him in the butt.
Really be?
I don't know.
We know
She
your
don't care.
answer.
She don't care.
You don't
It's not,
care.
no,
Okay.
that's not a I don't care. That's a really
Moving on.
no, that's not a I don't care. That really truly is a I honestly don't know. Like I don't know.
Okay.
Because remember when, even though, because when David needed Miss Elijah and Miss Elijah needed David, they were there for each other. Remember, Miss Elijah with Saren, and then David with Shinobi in that whole situation. Like they do have a bond. It's not like there's no bond there.
Oh, I definitely am not saying that there's not a bond, but what I'm saying is we know that Miss Elijah has been integral, I should say, to sometimes David, because I don't think that the plan that David had season 1 was the plan the whole time. I think that changed over the course of the season. And I feel like this time it's again changing over the course of the season. And I think Mix Elijah is a part of that change. Because remember, Mix Elijah came into the plan when he needed those scripts and stuff like that, and that changed, a lot of his plans as well. So let's get to the big thing from this episode, that conversation between JG and Shella. Because I think at the end of season episode 3, you kind of looked at it like, oh, what is happening? Is this a thing? Is he about to, take this ride again? I'm saying again on purpose because I feel like he did something before. But if he about to go down this road with Shella again, and then you had this episode and it went left, and there was a lot of things to explore from that conversation, from the policing aspect, from the whole the young man that shot JG on by mistake, and him about to have the book thrown at him, and there's a whole lot that opened up. What say you about that whole conversation, Ebbie?
Okay, here we go. So this speaks to a larger issue with us as Black people and the expectations that are put upon us when something is done to us. One, JG and Shayla, I think, have a lot of chemistry that's bubbling under the surface. I don't 100% know if they've gone there yet, but I think it's always been there, and they've been dancing around it for a long time. 2, I got very angry when Shayla was like, what's going on with the little boy, Lamar? What's his name? I don't know what the baby's name was. Yeah, that shot him. And JG was like, I just got out of the hospital. How would I know? He in jail. Like, I don't understand what you expected me to do. He shot me. Like, it's the same thing almost with like Megan and Pushback Hairline. I can't think of his name right now. But people are looking at her for her to do something. What would you like me to do? He shot me. Like I don't, like, you want me to give them a Bible and a hug at the end of like, what is exactly? We seem to be the only people who, whenever something is done wrong to you, you are expected to swallow it and then forgive the person who did what it is to you. And I don't have that ability. I just don't have it in me. Like, I'm gonna let the law and the Lord deal with you. That's the best I got for you. But if you are expecting me to come and speak on your behalf after you have violated, assaulted me, you done bumped your head. Now, I know that shooting with JG was an accident. He wasn't trying to shoot JG. I get the extenuating circumstance of that particular situation. But no. There are consequences to your actions. You perform the action. Don't perform the action if you're not ready for the consequences of what's going to come with it. When I walk up on a broad and I'm ready to throw down, I've already in my mind said, well, if my mug shots, and I hope they don't put the cuffs on too tight.
Oh,
I've already gone through all of that in my mind.
Okay.
Before I even approach you in that manner. I'm prepared for my consequences. Always.
Because
I know I can't escape it.
I'm scared to ask really be the question because I don't know what answer I'm going to get, whether or not this will be another. I don't care.
Listen, let's be clear for the record. I only said I don't care. And I never said I don't care. I said they haven't done anything to make me care. And I only said it once.
She said there is a difference. Listen to words.
There is a difference. There's a difference between I don't care and they have not created enough buzz in this storyline to make me care.
So you're still not caring. It's the same thing.
But it's different. Anyway, moving on. So this is how I feel about it. I agree with Ebbie from the point of view of I get really sick. And listen, maybe this about to maybe I'm about to be mad at me about this one too. I get really sick of us acting like cutting our nose off to spite our faces. So at the end of the day, I can separate law enforcement from bad cops. And I know a lot of Black people don't do that. I know in this day and age, a lot of Black people don't do that. And that's fine. That's your business. But I can separate the two. So at the end of the day, let's be clear about something. I think it's unfair for Shella to put that on him. One, he literally just got out of the hospital fighting for his life. So I don't think it's fair for her to expect anything from him. Like, yes, I understand that he was a young man and looks like maybe he had been, getting hassled in the neighborhood. But let's be clear. He had the gun and he fully intended to shoot someone. It just so happened he shot a cop. But let's not act like he didn't have a gun with the intent to shoot and maybe kill somebody. So it ain't like he accidentally picked up a gun and it went off and it shot JG. He had a gun, he aimed it, he pulled the trigger. So I'm not sure what Shella is. I don't think it's fair for him to put that on JG. At least not right now. Give JG a minute. Let him fully recover. Let him get used to the fact that his family is not losing, their father, their brother, their son, before you expect JG to come and save this young man who I'm sorry that he felt like that was his best option at that time. But I just don't think that that's fair, that was fair of her to put that on him. I thought that was really unfair.
And Xavier, one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to victim shame. we're not going to blame the victim. Talk about if JG hadn't carried his ass over there. First of all, he was over there to take groceries to Miss Elijah. He has a right to go over there at any given time. And he was trying to help the situation. He was trying to break up the fight.
And now again, like, you can't win because he's a police officer. He saw a situation, somebody was yelling for help. So he's supposed to walk in the opposite direction, but it's not like he don't see what's going on. So then we'd be saying, oh, look at this cop. He ain't doing his damn job. He saw this going on and yada, 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 boo, boo, boo. Like, that's what I'm saying about we can't win.
I feel like the worst part of that whole dialogue between those two is when Shella said to him, well, this guy, might lose his life in jail for the rest of his life. And in my mind, I was like, you do know JG could have lost his whole life for real. Like, not been in jail, like, lost his whole life. And you over here trying to get him to come out here and windmill. And I think sometimes with activists, and I talked about this on my review as well, you see the situation where they get so heavily vested into being savior of them all and different things like that, and they don't realize that there are people around them hurting who need their help and attention, and they need to take a moment or two and take a step back and say, you know what, I can't help everybody right now. I got to do for home. what I got to do for my loved one. And I think this is a situation where Shella got all of these things going on. She helping everybody under the sun, but here it is, somebody who you are friends with, who you are close with, who grew up with you, and this, that, and the third, who you do care about, almost died. You having PTSD bouts and moments because of it. You talk about how you dreaming about, having nightmares about it, but then you still want him to just up and help the person who was the conduit and agent by which all of this took place. I'm just saying, because Shella, if you were that vested, you would have known that boy was getting bullied over there in the video all the time, and you would have found a way to try to see if you could help the little boy before he felt like he had to get to the point where now he got to carry a gun to be able to blow the people off the earth the next time they bother him. Where was the energy then if you watching everything that's going on? For real, for real. And that's where
I understand that we tend to look at things through a different lens when it's a child. And let's be clear, I feel sorry for the young man that he felt like that was his best option. But I just think it was unfair. I feel like if she had maybe waited a little bit more time and maybe approached it a little differently, then I think that maybe she could have talked to JG about possibly, writing a letter, or because let's be clear, he shot a cop. It's really like JG not lying. It ain't a whole lot he can do. There really isn't. There really isn't. I mean, he can write a letter to the judge because it's not about him pressing charges. He doesn't have any control over that. And honestly, even if he were to go to the attorney general or whoever is prosecuting the case and say, listen, I don't want to press charges. He's a kid. He made a mistake. His word does not carry a lot of weight in that situation. He's a cop. He was an off-duty cop trying to help. And that's what they're going to paint it up as. So, again, I just feel like her approach was just unreasonable. And I feel like if she had approached it differently and maybe even given a little bit more time for him to heal up, you know what I mean? Maybe she'd have got a different reaction. But I just feel like the way she came off, like it was his duty, his obligation, and his job, and that he was going to go down to the police station and play Captain Saberhole and get the boy out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think he going to do?
Xavier, that statement that you just made doesn't resonate with me, because I grew up in the hood too, and I know in the hood they do anything but mind their own business. That's the whole point of the hood. Everybody is minding everybody's business, and especially in the case of Shella is in the business of everybody. That when you stay in the hood, everybody does mind everybody. You know exactly what's going on with everybody. Yeah,
I was going to say everybody know everything. And again, let's be clear, JG is not some random cop that just happened to be in the area. JG is a son of the Ville. He belongs there. It's not like, and again, like we said earlier, it's clear that he regularly is down there. It's not like he ain't never been. They know who he is. He had his shield on his hip. Like, it's not like he's hiding and people don't know who he is. He's not some stranger that's, happened to wander in. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I didn't grow up in the hood, but I know in my neighborhood where I grew up, we definitely mind each other's business.
Well, and that's why I say ain't no mind your own bit. You do intervene if you need to.
You do intervene. What are you talking about?
That's literally his job, is to intervene. What
right.
Are you talking about?
That is literal, and like I said, if he hadn't done it, and God forbid,
because that would have cost him repercussions on his own job, because you got your badge on and your job as a police officer, I don't care where you were, even if you're out of jurisdiction, you still have an obligation to try to see if you can get that what's good Sims overdose, to try and see if you can get that situation mitigated. Especially, this is like ReallyB just said, this ain't just some random place. This is where you grew up. He has a vested interest in trying to diffuse any situation down there to I just think that's not fair to for her or anybody to make it like JG was in any way stretch of the imagination wrong. Even if he said, I ain't got nothing for him, I ain't got nothing that I can do for him. Baby, it is what it is. Because guess what? Had JG died, where would we have been then? What would have been the conversation then? Would you have been like, oh, he'll need to go to jail now still? Would you have been like, oh, well, you come on now?
And again, I feel like, why are we? Anyway, I just, I don't know. I just feel like that mentality, and we see it happen all the time. But I just feel like if he had walked off in the opposite direction, and God forbid something had happened to Shalimar, let's say Shalimar was the one that got shot that night, the first thing they're gonna say is, well, that cop was down here, he saw everything. Now what?
I just, yeah, that whole conversation, and part of that conversation made me feel like they tried to go down the road of seeing what could be before, and it just didn't work out. Because he seemed like he had this moment where he was like, oh, I remember why this didn't work out. Like, I felt like he had that moment where he said, yeah, I see why this didn't work out. I think Shell is too invested in everything that she has going on that she's missing out on.
She can't see the forest for the trees.
Right, can't see the
Like
forest.
she's so heavily invested into the Ville and the people of the Ville. Like I said, she's Miss Gertrude all over again. That she's like, she feel like everybody should sacrifice everything for the people in the Ville, and everybody doesn't feel the same way that you do. And I'm not gonna sacrifice my life and my livelihood. This boy shot again. He shot me. So I'm just supposed to just brush. I know you shot me, but let me go and help you get on out of jail.
And I think she's using that as an excuse to not, because she got, you know, they say she's what they say, the jack of all trades, master of none. And I feel like she is using all of that in the Ville as an excuse to not get out of the Ville. I think that's her crutch. And that's another reason why, going back to your other question about fighting so hard, she's fighting hard, not so much, I mean, yeah, on the surface it's to save the Ville or whatever, but it's really to save, it's to save her, because she has put so much into being the mayor of the Ville and taking care of everybody. It's almost like her crutch that's like not allowing her to leave and get out of that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. And I also feel like we talked about how JG was the one who kept going back. Gloda separated herself. David separated himself. And I think that this moment is going to make JG rethink that and make him go like, yeah, because he's having his own bouts with PTSD afterwards as well. And I think that it may be a situation where he maybe said, yeah, it might be time for me to you know, do away with that, because that part of, you know, who I am in my life, you know, is over. As somebody who grew up in the hood, I don't try to go back there if I don't have to.
Xavier, what the hell? What in all of the hell? It doesn't allow autonomy between victims and the people who victimize them. So you want the rape victim to have to be forced to deal with the person who raped them, or the person who shot them or assaulted them, or whatever it is, the crime. No, that's not. What? That don't even. Okay. First of all, I know there is extenuating circumstances in different cases with whatever is happening. However, there are consequences to your actions.
Business having a gun in the first place.
There are consequences to your actions. I was taught at a very young age about carrying a gun. Don't carry a gun unless you're willing to use it. Don't pull it out unless you're ready to shoot somebody. And you must think, and the consequences are finite, because somebody could lose their life. It is that serious. So therefore, don't come to me talk about some, Well, I know I shot you when you was just on a breathing machine and they induce you into a coma, but you seem to be all right now. So come help me get out of jail. Come stick up for me at the court. Please get away from me. I'm getting a restraining order. You shot me.
I think it made sense for them to put that at the end, especially with him having that conversation in the PTSD after he had went off on David about. Remember, he went off on David at the mama house about, well, you ain't been going to the Ville to give Mr. Elijah no food and stuff like that, and this, that, and the third, and he was trying to give David, a whole lot of grief about not going back to the Ville, and I think he went there and realized, yeah, I probably don't be going to the Ville.
Right, but I don't even understand if JG understands the trauma that David experienced in the Ville. Like every time he goes there and he looks at that in the courtyard, he sees Guy getting shot in front of him all over again, every single time.
And that's why I don't think Shella fully understands David as well, because remember, Shella was like JG's age, so she was much younger, whereas Tara was the one that was David's age or whatnot. And so I don't think Shella was fully aware of everything that went into that whole situation with David from season 1. So she come in there, and that's why Mix-a-Lot had to tell her, I know David better than you do. You don't know David like I know David. And if David doing something, David got a reason for doing something. And so I think that she does a lot of things off of emotion, which I think is not good at all. I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna say this, and this is something that I'm thinking about moving forward. Now we got some glimpses into what's about to happen moving forward, which excites me, of course, because we know Tara is going to be brought into the story. We know we're going to get information about Saren and his situation, and we don't have to go on our hashtag where Saren tirade. But but let me say this. I feel like we keep getting, as we progress in the story, more other people from season 1 that's coming back that I feel like is making David rethink a lot of things. Like I really truly, and I could be totally wrong, but I do feel like his plan is being altered. Maybe the final plan is the same, but how he gets there, the route by which he gets there changes, because I think as these other people come back in his life and he has to deal and grapple with what they how they affected him and how his life has been changed because of them, I think that does change his moves and actions. I think Tara is going to be one, but I certainly think that when you introduce back Saren into the conversation and the situation, I feel like he's going to be one of the few people who can speak to David on David's level and say, nah, bro, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That will make him, hey, snap out of it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I hope they don't do nothing extreme, like Saren come back and he's a girl, like, or something crazy.
I think we're making it. I think first we're making the assumption that Saren is in a place to even have that. Like, we don't know what happened to him. We don't know if that person that he was in the car with was a friend or foe. We have no idea what happened to Saren in the last 10, 15 years. So he may not be in a position to help David. Hell, he might need help. We don't know what condition we getting him back in.
But I do feel like if he's in a position where he does need help, that will change David's trajectory as well. Because I certainly think if David sees that Sarah needs help, I don't see David just being like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I just don't see David doing that.
This David, I'm not so sure. Like, this David seems to be void of all emotion. Like, I get nothing from him.
Hey,
Shinobi was killed. We don't know about Kool-Aid Dreadlock Boy and Uncle. But Shinobi is dead.
Shinobi.
Well, we heard a gunshot.
I think he's dead.
I'm pretty certain he's dead.
I'm in my feelings still.
Somebody got in my comment section that said that Shinobi wasn't dead, that the gunshot was for the other boy. But I was like, no, the other boy got shot in a whole nother.
What other boy?
The other light-skinned boy.
Who?
The other one with the eyes. Remember
He was
the other boy?
He was the one that.
The
Maybe
other
he was the one that got shot.
hung out with Tio, that worked for Tio.
Maybe that was who got shot.
The Jamaican one.
Maybe that was the one that got shot. Damn, I gotta go back and look at the last episode again. Maybe he was the one that got shot. Somebody got shot in that car. Damn it!
Because if you
remember, those are questions that I asked.
Was not in the car, because that's the point about the gunshot. It was only Tio, that police officer, and Shinobi. Jamaican boy was already gone at that point. It was only the three of them. Jamaican boy was not in that car. So when we heard that gunshot, I don't know how I'm supposed to think that it was anybody but Shinobi.
I gotta go back and look at the last episode then.
I have to go look back too, because I don't, Xavier, I don't know Xavier. I have to look and see. Fact check.
But the question is, where are they? Where are they? Like, again, I agree, we didn't get that. Where are they?
See, I thought they tried to make me feel like I was crazy when I said Shinobi wasn't dead. I thought
that was Shinobi in the car, but clearly I was wrong.
Oh my God! I just knew.
Now y'all gonna make me go back and watch.
Now we all going back to watch the last episode.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Because I know I ain't wrong. I know I'm not going crazy.
You crazy now? That's another conversation.
Pharmacy. He thought he was going to jail. He gets in a police car. Tio is there. They drive off to some park, remember? And they have a whole long conversation.
Right. And then last week, here's the gunshot.
People in the car. It was only 3 people in the car.
Wait, I think the Jamaican got killed because he made a move. The big buff one with the light skinned one. That he was working for the uncle too.
When he got killed, that was a whole different situation, a whole different point in the episode.
Right, China White, because when in the episode about Hurston, he said, well, Shinobi and Rainin closed up shop. Not that they was dead or gone, they just shut it down after that was part of the consequences of the ultimate plan with the uncle.
We saw this shut down. Remember when David came home at the end of
when he got suspended by the school and the school didn't call his mama.
No, I'm going back to episode 1. I'm talking about season 10. Season 1, episode 10. When David came home and had that last conversation with Rainin, he told Rainin right then, it's over. That's it. Ain't no more happening here. We know it was shut down. You know what I'm saying? So that was, nobody probably knew that Shinobi was dead at that point. Ain't nothing else happened after that. It was shut
because down. Remember when David got suspended and came home, he was talking to the other little boys. He's like, "What's going on?" And they was like, "It's been quiet since Rainin and Shinobi shut down the shop."
But what I'm saying to you is,
but they said it in present tense, not like Shinobi was dead. I don't know. We got to look. We got to go back and look at the last episode. Justice for Shinobi. Y'all stop trying to kill off my friend.
Well, then where the hell is he then? Shit.
Listen, I was all over Shinobi.
Tio moved into a different neighborhood to move some product.
Ciao. I will say I am looking to see to get all of the dots connected. I'm so looking forward to Sarah and where that goes. I'm going to continue to put stuff out. Y'all know I sent stuff out this morning to you, really be Abby. We'll keep that between us for now. But hopefully,
I don't remember you sending me none.
It was in the group text.
It was in the group text.
Yeah, but it was on Instagram. You said keep it between us. It was on Instagram.
No, it wasn't. No. You gotta go back and look at it, baby.
Oh, okay. Sorry. The only thing I remember what you sent me was on Instagram. Okay.
It was from Instagram, but it was in the DMs.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is it was on Instagram. You said keep it between us. It's
No, you ain't look at the group text.
okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. But hopefully, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want a good story about what happened to Sharon. Like he was on the Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman, and they got him to the promised land. And please don't come back drug addicted trans woman who's confused about his life, and now you're trying to grift David. Please don't let that be the storyline, Jesus. Okay.
China White, I feel like yes, because if you can give the have and the have-nots, what is this, season 8 or 9 seasons? Dear God.
But that's a totally different situation. That's not the same.
Why not?
I mean, it's a different situation. I don't know.
You got to explain that one. Ma'am.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, good. Okay, good. No, what I'm saying is you're comparing just because they gave the have and the have-nots 20 seasons and it's a terrible show. You're saying just because they gave them that mean that they should automatically give David Makes Man. I'm saying that's two different situations. Like one, I don't understand the comparison. I don't understand what you're saying.
He's saying because people are so
still on TV and good TV gets canceled. It happens all the time.
Okay, so you're still considering it good TV because you hate everything. Well, you don't hate everything. You're just displeased with the time jump and the storyline so far, or what they've given us in the storyline.
No, this season is not a good season, but last season is better than all of the seasons that have and have nots.
Say it again.
But for me, this season is not a good season. No.
Well, they still keep pumping out episodes of Sisters. So
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But again, that goes back to Tyler Perry's relationship with the network. That one don't have nothing to do with the other.
I think they could get a third season. I absolutely think they could get a third season.
I think that OWN right now is clamoring for good production, because that show with the chick, what was the show that I think that got canceled? The one that just started and it wasn't all that about the lawyer chick.
And that one that was in Charlotte, of course they gave.
Delilah. What's the name? That wasn't the name of it?
We don't know. Xavier, whatever they want it to be about. We just go along for the journey. Like Greenleaf didn't have like where it was supposed to end, like a clear begin. You know what I'm saying? It's a drama. Just follow the drama until we get to the finish line.
But the OWN has, and I've heard that's why they're so hell bent on bringing Queen Sugar back right now, because even as much as we may talk about the have and have not, they had a fan base that loved the hell out of it. And
my mama loved that show.
And that's why I'm saying we can't compare the two, because as much as we might not appreciate like Tyler, and that's what we keep saying about Tyler Perry. No matter how bad people think Tyler Perry's movies are,
Tyler Perry is horrible, and he has a following. But my point I trying to make was that OWN, we know Ayanna is gone, we know Tyler Perry is gone, we know Greenleaf is gone. So they are in a bit of a quagmire with regard to dramas and that type of programming. They have Queen Sugar still. What's the name of the show that I started reviewing with you and then I said I just can't no more? From last season with Cicely Tyson in it that you love.
Oh, Love Is.
Love Is. I think that's coming back.
Love Is? Oh no, Cherish Today. Cherish Today.
Yeah, Cherish Today. I think that's coming back. But what I'm saying is they don't have a whole lot of stuff coming out. I know they have their reality shows with the Bell Collective and Put a Ring on It. And if I miss someone, Love and Marriage Huntsville, isn't that our own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So we'll see. We'll see.
What's called Kings of Napa, Xavier? What are you talking about? What's Kings of Napa? What's
He
that?
said that's a new show coming on about a family winery.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Kings of Napa. I'm here for it.
So I think in order for you to be, a network, you have to have a stable of, you want to have a good number of, you want to have your reality shows, which they seem to be have a pretty good connection with Carlos King and the reality shows or whatnot. So I think that's going well for them. But then you want to have those dramas as well, so that you can keep, all of those things going. So I think I can see it getting a season 3. They have the backing. In terms of the money is not the issue because they're getting the money from the EPs who are doing what they got to do. It's not like they are struggling to have big names backing them. So I think they will come back and so forth. Claws stopped being good after season 2. I don't know what happened.
I think they're doing a final season of Claws. They filmed it. I think they're done filming it, and it was supposed to debut in June, and I think they pushed it back. But it's the final season.
Yeah, I tried to get through season 3 in that because in Karoch on there, Karuch, whatever.
Karuchi. Yes.
I tried to get through season 3, and I was like, "Oh, you're good." But
last season, it wasn't. Last season wasn't that great. That daggone Uncle Daddy.
Ciao. So y'all know I am gung ho. I am well vested. Bobo says I'm just liking it just because I'm Miami great. Y'all know me. I do a lot of shows.
I'm trying to stick there with y'all. I'm trying to stay in it. I'm trying to stay focused.
Okay.
And we appreciate that.
I am.
I for one appreciate you trying to stay focused, because I think if you just hold on, eventually you'll get all of the nuggets that you are looking for.
But we 4 episodes in.
So how many episodes? I mean, how are you gonna rush their timeline about how they telling their story?
I mean, 4 episodes in, I should feel it. I should be feeling it.
Then you would have been like, well, they rushed through telling me.
No, I wouldn't. Nope, I wouldn't.
In 4 episodes, they're not going to be able to. They may not have been able to give you a full, parceled out storyline.
I'll be doing Raising Kanan.
I don't know. I'm
gonna watch Ready to Die, the TV show. I don't know if there'll be
Ready to Die, the TV show.
Now you talk about somebody getting it wrong. Courtney Kemp has gotten that wrong since.
Well, Courtney Kemp isn't the showrunner for Raising Kanan, so
I hope it ain't the person who did Power Book 2, because that shit was horrible.
She was the runner for Power Book 2.
They still ain't get the season right. So I just it's sometimes, it be the minute details that trip you up. Like, how are they starting school? It's August. Why is it snowing and they have winter coats on? None of this makes sense.
Because ReallyB gave Courtney Kemp and them all of those horrible seasons of freaking Power.
That's your opinion. I don't think they were horrible seasons.
But 4 episodes in, now you know what?
But that's your opinion. I don't think Power was horrible. I think Power Book 2 was horrible, but I don't think the original Power was horrible. That's your opinion.
I'm still trying to figure out how Tommy shot up that whole apartment and nobody called the police.
Those last 2 seasons of Power were awful. They were horrible.
Listen, y'all act like I said I'm never watching the show again. I said I'm sticking with it. Golly, what do you want me to do?
You kind of brought us.
I didn't say anything. I'm praying you stick with it.
I said I'm going to keep watching the show. I'm going to keep reviewing the show. Dang, I didn't quit. I want to, but I ain't going to.
Wow.
We ain't forcing you to review. You know me. I'm a man.
No, I didn't say you were forcing me to do anything.
I too am not trying to force anything. I just want you to hold on.
It feels like at times during this panel discussion, we were forcing you to answer stuff, but you were just looking like, girl, I'm not into this.
No, it's not that I don't have. I don't have an answer. Like I legit don't have an answer. It's not. It's. I don't think I understand where I am in this situation. It's. I don't. My brain ain't thinking that deep.
I understand wholeheartedly because there's a lot of things that y'all be talking about, and I just be like, chill.
And that's the
ability to care. I do not have.
Been there. We both have been there because sometimes y'all get to talking about certain reality shows, and I'd be like, girl, I can't find a fuck to give. Like I'm strict Christian.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like we
Black
all
mafia family. What the hell?
Oh, I don't know what channel is that coming on, Xavier? Black Mafia Family. That sounds like something I would watch. I don't know if I'm gonna review it.
I'm trying to get caught up on season 2 of King of Harlem.
A show that comes on with they're on season 2. I think they just finished season 2 with the black man is the daddy, and they in like some black. I can't think of the name of the show. It's gonna come to me when I get off here. The black man.
Family Business?
Yeah.
What about it?
I think is that what he's talking about?
No, he's not. No.
Oh, okay. Family Business. The black man. He was wasn't he the warden on Oz? No. Yeah. The daddy.
I don't know what show that is.
From Family Business.
I don't watch that. I don't know. I've never heard of that until you just spoke it out of your lips. I don't know what that is.
Wasn't he the daddy?
It's a new show on Stars about the Real Big Meech. Yeah, I'll probably watch it. I doubt if I'm gonna review it, but I'll watch it. That sounds like something I would watch.
Speaking of which,
listen, I gotta get caught up on Real Gangsters. So I'm trying to get caught up on King of Harlem with Bumpy Johnson. I'm stressed.
I don't know if I'm going back to Big Brother. I haven't decided yet. I can't.
I'm behind on Big Brother, so don't say nothing. I'm behind. I
haven't seen it. That's my point. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet either. I didn't realize.
I'm gonna watch it because every time I'm going back to Big Brother, they always come with the fuck shit.
Listen, I sent the message to Mother about making the cut season 2, so hopefully he'll review it. Yes, that's my hope.
Somebody inboxed me about it too. They were like, no, somebody other than you.
About what?
Making the cut.
Canceled it. I thought it was canceled.
Making the cut season 2 is out. Making the cut is Project Runway Richard older cousin. They be in Paris and Italy and oh my god. It feels like every time they do a runway show, it's somewhere gorgeous and luscious and I love it.
And it has Naomi Campbell, so
yes, and she be giving them the biz.
She's like, why?
Why?
What's up, Jason? What's up? So anyway,
I gotta get caught up, Xavier. I'm on like episode 2 of season 2. I gotta get caught up.
We're about to get off here. Continue to watch our reviews. Continue to watch for when we do lives about it. You never know what you may see on a live. So continue to look around. Stay in our comment section. I do love. That's one thing I love about the Mix Man, the dialogue in the comment section. Because I
know exactly who they are. I know exactly who Big Meech is, and that's why I said I'm probably not going to review the show. But I'll watch it.
Listen, we don't know when Bell Collective is coming back. That's a better question for Scotty because he knows the people. Yeah. I listen.
Anyway, anything before we get off? Really, B?
No.
I know that I would be working in the morning, so there will be no silly Saturday for me in the morning. I might do it tomorrow afternoon, but I got a lot going on tomorrow afternoon too, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, watch the Marvel shows on Disney Plus if you can.
Jonathan Majors.
Yes, Jonathan Majors made an appearance
for the last episode of Loki. Oh dear God.
Yes. Listen,
Jason, I'm sorry. Maybe I can have one of these ladies substitute and do Silly Saturday for me in the morning, since I will be working. Maybe I can do it tomorrow afternoon. I don't know. Or tomorrow night. Silly Saturday. I don't know. They won't get up that early. They won't be getting up that early. Silly Saturday.
I'm glad you said
I'll do the best I can. Anyway, that's all I got. I got to get out of here. I got an 8 o'clock meeting.
It's 8. You late. Hit the button. Yep. Bye, y'all. Goodbye.
I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being present and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions. I did make sure I put everybody's information in the description box. So yeah. Xavier, we're not going to answer that right now because that's going to cause us to go into a whole conversation. I got to get out of here.
I don't know what that heifer said, so it's fine.
Love y'all. Thank y'all
Why
for coming.